Welcome to the next episode of the Change the Game Not Africa podcast. My name is Dávid Köleséri. I am currently a student at the University of Szeged. In this episode, I have the honor to have a conversation with two fellow students of mine, Tamás and Kalima. Welcome, guys, to the podcast. Thank you for coming. Today's topic is going to be serious games in education. So, have you ever had the chance or the opportunity to try a serious game?
Yeah, I think nowadays, a lot of teachers and tutors use those to kind of make the class entertaining.
Yeah, I also think so. We have some classes that use this method of teaching, and usually we find it interesting that we have some really deep and more interesting topics to talk about nowadays.
Right. So it basically improves the class, right?
I think it does, yeah.
Okay, despite this, what do you think can be the downside of serious games? What are the potential threats it can come with?
I think the one danger with those is overdoing it. When the whole class consists of games, it's just, it becomes boring at a certain point, and also you kind of get a feeling that it's not serious enough or you're not really learning anything. And that's I think the biggest threat of those. Yeah.
I agree with Halima, but I would like to add that maybe not every student likes these games, and it could really be a double-edged sword that some people may be more shy than others, and these people could really basically crush those others who are shy, and they usually don't like the opportunity to speak, but maybe sometimes they should, but they are not getting these opportunities.
And my greatest concern is the social aspect of these games. So it might take away the social aspect of school itself. So you might not socialize enough or as much as you used to before that. What do you think about that?
I haven't really thought about this aspect, but I don't think that this is a really big threat because there are some more opportunities to socialize, and this is just a part of university, so thankfully. So not the whole university is a game.
Yeah, I think sometimes when the teams are mixed, it's kind of in a way gives you an opportunity to meet new people. It's not always a good thing, but sometimes it's a great thing. Yeah.
How could serious games improve education?
Well, I think there are some subjects that could benefit from these types of games, such as subjects that deal with, I think, current day matters also. And these more history type of classes, I don't think that they could benefit from those, but some certain classes could really benefit from them. It would make them less boring and maybe more intuitive also.
Yeah, I think it's some classes which are social related or even history related. I think, some role play could, be beneficial.
Yeah.
And there are some historical examples of those which were really helpful. So I think it can really make some fun in education because the usual lectures are kind of boring and you kind of get really adjusted to those. But games can shake you up and bring some fun into education, which can make some additional excitement for students. And also I think it can influence the motivation because the more excited you are, the more you want to study the subject.
Yep, especially for those early classes.
Oh, yeah, early morning classes for sure. But recently we had kind of a small game for economics class, which was also fun in a way. I think it was really good to step away from a theory, go back to the history and have a small game.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what makes a serious game perfect?
Good timing and
timing. What do you mean by that?
and the good circumstances. Good timing, for example, at certain point of the class, students get tired and bored. And I think putting game in this part of the class can make it like a little more excitement, can bring the energy back. And the good circumstances are like, I mean, the context of the game, because sometimes the games are just not like in the right place. Sometimes you really want to get a lecture, not a game for something. So I think the timing and the circumstances should make the game perfect.
Yeah, I completely agree with Halima that the timing and the setting of it is really important, since we can't all focus for like 1.5 hours for a whole lecture. I think for like right in the middle, we could put a game and it would shake up things, and maybe it would even enhance our learning experience. Maybe it could help us revise what we've learned in class.
And do you think these games should be an online space or just an offline something which could potentially foster teamwork within a classroom?
I think it depends. Depends on like the context. For some games, like Quizlet could be good. For some like circumstances. For other circumstances, maybe like some teamwork would be better. So yeah, it really depends on the topic of the class and like whatever we're studying.
Yeah, we've had some, I don't know, examples for both, because sometimes we had some Kahoot games. Those were really nice that all these teams competed against each other, and it also fostered cooperation because you needed to think really quick in a team. But also these games that involve more research, those are also fun because you learn some new things by yourselves. And you could discuss it in teams, and it's really led to cooperation and learning together.
Yeah. What do you think in the case of a more complex serious game, which is in an online space? Could it foster online bullying?
I think it depends if there is a communication between the students, if there is a possibility to communicate. But yeah, of course, whenever there is like some social environment, of course, there's a space for bullying in those situations. So yeah.
But I think at the university, I don't think that this is too big of a concern. But maybe if we're talking about some lower education levels, for example, at primary or secondary education, there really could be a threat of that. But in university, I don't think that it could really be the case. But of course, there's always an opportunity for it in a social.
But I think like there should be some moderating and monitoring from the like teacher or professor's side.
Yeah.
I think that's on them to like look at and like.
Yeah, it should always be like a system of checks and balances that, of course, the lecturer always supervises the students, but also the students could kind of quote unquote supervise the lecturer that nothing goes wrong, or they held him or her accountable.
Right. Are there any specific subjects or topics in which you would like to see few serious games and you find them particularly useful?
Maybe I would say management. That could be one, because management is always like, I think, a group effort, or could be a group effort. And we've had some examples for it in management class that we had to work in groups. And basically, those were serious games. We played the beer game, I think.
Yes, we did.
It was, let's just say, an experience. It was good because we had to think together and solve a problem together. But of course, it had some downsides also. But mostly, it was fine.
The downside being that we lost. We bankrupted.
Yeah, kind of. But for example, we've had some serious games in global economics class and or economics trends and centers class, and usually it was great because we had to research some topics or think about topics in groups.
Yeah, I think marketing would be also in a way good to have those. One great example for me was in bachelor's we had the negotiation class, and in the end of semester we had a kind of role play game where each of the team was kind of a negotiating team, and we like kind of role played the negotiations, and it was really helpful because you got the knowledge and by the end of semester you used them. So I think like that was really great example of those. But I think like even economics can be like
maybe.
a good one, because like sometimes you can role play the actors, economic actors, and like the economic system. So I think it would be great to put it in between the calculations.
Yeah, fair point.
Finally, what advice would you give to educators who are considering to use serious games in their teaching practices?
I think like consider the time management of the class, because the game shouldn't take too long or too short. And also it would be great to put it like at the point when like students are kind of tired. So maybe 1 or 2 games, like maybe in the middle of the class or something, so that, or in the middle and the end, so that the students got a chance to like have some rest from like information and put it to use maybe. Yeah. And also like really the circumstances are really important, because sometimes for certain classes I really would prefer having a lecture instead of the game, because like I really need to write things down and like have more of a like traditional class instead.
Yep. I also agree with this, that time management is key, and also realizing that not all topics can be made into a game. That is one key thing, and I think more teachers should be open towards this type of teaching method that they could incorporate into their syllabus, and this could really help students comprehend what the material was really about.